Well, I got the Ducati boots on, so you already know what that means. Here we have Ducati's brand new 2025 Panigale V2. I'm over here at Ducati Cleveland. They finally got in their demo model for the brand new V2 in, which is exciting. It's not super often that bike brands come out with brand new models to test. I am like all kitted up in my Ducati stuff today, so. All right, Paul's gonna give us the lukewarm start. The stock exhaust, the stock pipe on this thing, unfortunately. It's not terrible.
Not too bad.
Good luck, sir. Enjoy it. It comes back in half.
That one's definitely more grunty on the low end.
Feels more powerful.
Just a little bit. That one opens up at the higher RPMs though, supposedly.
What? It looks like it's my turn on the new Panigale V2. So look, I'm not going to claim to be the best motorcycle rider of all time. So take this little review as someone who like rides motorcycles on a semi-normal basis. Kind of like an average rider type of situation here. Standouts to me already, this bike is higher quality than at least what I saw in photos, which is a good thing overall. Luckily, we have the old V2 right here, which is really cool. That's awesome for comparison purposes. First thing you're already going to notice immediately before even stepping on the bike, this bike no longer has true clip-ons. It has these like nice little raised clip-on type thing. For comparison purposes, this is what the old one looks like. It has this triple tree right here. It's disconnected from these clip-on bars, and the clip-on bars are placed below it. These are raised slightly above. Now, true sport bike fans are probably going to be like, oh no, that sucks. It makes the bike look a little bit more like a sport touring bike and less like a sport bike. Now, if you want, Ducati is going to be offering, it's like an $800 option, which you can get clip-on bars, like they're called like a sport bars or whatever you want. It'll make it look just like the old one, but it's gonna be on the new one. The other standout to me is on the new V4s over here. If you look, Ducati developed this brand new throttle for these new gen V4s. It's kind of like the S1000 throttle if you've ever felt it. Very snappy. There's no play in it whatsoever. It just goes like meep, meep, meep. It's perfect. I love the new gen throttles. Something the new gen V2 does not have though is that throttle. As you can see, there's a little bit of play right here. Looks like it's the same throttle tube as the old one. If you can't tell, yes, it has the same amount of play. I'm a little bit concerned about that, but we're going to see how it rides before I make any final judgments. Other than that, though, other than those two main criticisms that I have of this bike before I even hop on it, it seems like it's a very nice package. You have a much bigger screen compared to the old gen. This is, I think, it's similar to like the old V4 screen, so at least they upgraded that. It has a fuel gauge, which is something new to basically the Panigale series. I don't think any Panigale's ever had a fuel gauge. That's good. It has cruise control from the factory. That's awesome. Brembos all around. Nice, decent set of suspension, which is always nice to have. And finally, it looks pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. It has a very similar starter switch to the old V4s as well, so that's nice to see as well. Let's see how she starts. So Jayden's going to be riding the old gen V2, and we'll swap at some point. Something I should probably mention for the video, I actually had an order in on one of these bikes. This was, I still have the deposit down. The one with my name on it's not here yet. I'm not really sure if I'm going to still buy one because I did buy the V4. I put the order in on this before I bought the V4, so this has variable valve timing. It's the same as the S1000RR, so.
It's around 4 to 5K, they said it really kicks in.
So initial impressions is she's quiet. It feels very comfortable. The suspension's kind of soft. It's a little plush. It doesn't feel like my MT-07, even though the suspension is soft on that, like you feel every bump. This is nice. It's eating up the bumps nicely, so. I think they start at like 15.5 or something like that.
15,995.
Yeah, okay. So almost basically 16 grand. Look at this Harley, man.
Feeling it.
Wait, this has cruise control. I could do the same thing, right? Where's the cruise control? What? It says it's not.
No, yeah, they didn't build that one with it. So it comes with all the buttons for heated grips and cruise and all that jazz. If they're not built with it, the buttons are just basically there for show.
Oh, I think, yeah, you have to buy it. Aww.
Yup.
That's a bummer. It's a lot easier to ride compared to the old one. Like, I owned an old one. A lot of people aren't going to remember that because it was from forever ago and I never really made any YouTube videos with it, but I owned that bike. I owned a bike just like it. So I remember kind of how difficult those are to ride because it's a super sport. It's a sport bike. It's so much fun. Like the low RPM, just like, it feels like a diesel, dude. Just... It eats the bumps pretty well.
Yeah, this one doesn't.
She picks up nice. Cleveland roads are a great way to test this bike because it just eats the bumps. Look at it, these bumps. This is like the worst road in this entire area. It feels fine.
Oh yeah, lean off the bike. Lean off the bike. He learned to lean off the bike. Yeah.
It's that track day. I learned from it.
No more hating on this boy. Lean off the bike. Get off that bike! Get off that bike! Yeah! Get off that bike!
If there's one takeaway to learn from this experience, this bike is insanely easy to ride. I feel like any beginner could hop on this and like kind of, well, not maybe necessarily beginner, but
Maybe
like,
not, yeah, not big.
someone like me who's like not necessarily an expert when it comes to sport bikes, I feel like I can ride this bike around a track probably pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody that's got a little bit of experience, maybe a couple different bikes under their belt.
It's just easy. Like it literally is like a little mini S1000. I'm gonna, the only bad thing I have to say about it, the only bad thing, is it doesn't feel like a sport bike. Like it doesn't, like if I have the R6 and I hop on this feels like more of a naked bike because it looks like a sport bike. When you look at it from afar, it looks like a honest to God sport bike. That, yeah, I hate to say it, that's like my only complaint is it just doesn't feel, this is what I was saying, like R6 versus R9. Don't think the R9 is gonna make me feel like it's a true super sport.
I'm all the YouTube comments riding behind you. Get off the bikes.
Get off the bike.
Gotta lean it.
You gotta lean it. I'm in no way trying to complain about the bike. I think it's a very well put together motorcycle. It's good. And this new generation of middleweights has its place. This was the reason why I caught a lot of controversies because I said the R6 is a really bad street bike because it is. It's a very peaky motorcycle. You have to ride it all the way into the very high RPMs just like this bike in order to find the power, in order to find the enjoyment. This bike, you don't have to do that. You can sit at honestly 2,000, 3,000 RPMs, go full gas and have a good time. The only downside to that being is character. You do lose out on a little bit of that, which if you're not someone who owns multiple motorcycles like me, that's something I think you can forego. If motorcycles aren't the be all end all to you and you only have like space for one motorcycle in your garage, a bike like this is probably going to be the better option for you. It has the cruise control, it has the optional heated grips, it has the comfortable seating position, it has the power everywhere in the power band. Very well put together motorcycle. It looks like it goes super fast because it kind of does. This goes 36,000 miles without a valve check. This one only goes 15,000 miles, so that, yeah, you're right. Oh, the turning radius on this one sucks. I forgot about that too. I'm just kind of waiting on this truck to figure out what he wants to do. I don't know. He's going super slow. All right, I think he wants us. Oh, no. I thought he would want us to get out of the way, but he figured it out. Cool. Oh, he's going to back into me. Yay!
It's built for it tough.
When this thing is super low in the RPMs, you gas it, no power until you get higher in the RPMs, and then it goes. The throttle on the new one is a lot smoother compared to the old one too. This one's very on and offy.
Which way are we going?
That's the one advantage. So it rides like a naked bike. You get all the comfort of a naked bike, but it looks like a super sport, which is probably these companies, they're starting to figure out that people want that comfort. They want the usability of a naked, but they want the looks of a sport bike. So it's less horsepower, but it's cheap. It's a lot cheaper, dude. All right, you caught us.
So I'm going to try to be open and honest about this because people seem to like it when I'm open and honest instead of trying to act like more than what I am. Not an expert motorcycle reviewer, and it's probably going to be a long time until I'm at that level. But what I am is a normal, ordinary biker. And from the perspective of an ordinary, regular biker, should I have bought the V4 instead of the V2? The V4 has much more character in this bike. When you ride the V4 versus the feeling that you get when you ride this bike, your soul is going to be much more on fire and alive riding the V4 or something like an R6 or something like a CBR 600 RR. Like, you're going to have a lot more fiery spirit. But I can tell you, as someone who is riding this bike and talking to an audience while riding it, I could turn my brain off and ride this bike. I could probably turn my brain off and set a lap record on this bike. That's how easy it is to ride a V2. I'm quick to write this bike off in my head initially because that's the bad side of me. That is the bad part. That's the egotistical, like, I'm better than this bike. I can handle bikes with way more horsepower. Even though I learned on the track, I clearly can't. Bikes like the V4 are outside of my riding skill. I can't handle 220, 30, 40 horsepower. I can't. I mean, you can see it in my full throttle V4 video. I'm scared of it. There's no way in God's green earth I could ever set a lap record on the V4. If I was like Mario Kart ghost racing myself, or if I was racing one of my buddies on this bike versus the V4, I would probably beat them around a track on this bike every single time compared to the V4. Does that mean I'm going to sell my V4 for this bike? Probably not. Because that's not why I buy motorcycles. I'm not a track rider at heart. I have the R6 for when I go back to track days when we have a little bit more consistent weather than this rain. No, I bought the V4 because it sets my soul on fire. It makes me feel something. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel a little bit of danger. And that's okay. I made that decision and I'm sticking with it. Ducati made a really good bike here. The R9 is not going to be any more exciting than this bike. They have pretty much the exact same red line, similar suspension setups from the factory. This bike is just going to be more comfortable and have way longer service intervals and probably be better built. Is it worth an extra $2-3 grand or whatever? That's probably going to be your personal decision. I don't think I'm going to buy either bike. See, from my perspective, I bought the R6. That was my decision. I don't think I'm going to be buying the R9. I don't think I'm going to be buying the V2. I have the V4. I have the R6. I have the best versions of those bikes from those companies, in my opinion, Yamaha and Ducati. But I understand that those aren't reasonable options. Those aren't the options that everybody out there is going to go out and get. Because I have an MT-07. Whenever I want to go out and a chill ride, enjoy myself, I take my MT-07. I'm not taking my V4. I'm not taking R6. So for somebody in that market who wants a bike like this and wants the highest quality version of this bike in this segment, that's the V2.
All right. Slow your roll, Bucky. We're in proximity chat.
What's up? Yo.
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 Well, we're getting out of here. You guys enjoy the V2 if you guys haven't ridden it yet.
Hey, you brought yours here?
In my V4?
Yeah.
No, sir. No, we're about to get poured on. You see that over there? All right, be safe, gentlemen.
So as it would appear, it looks like the vlog got cut short a little bit, but that doesn't mean we still have things to do. I do try to keep my things looking reasonably nice, and because there's a reason I haven't been using my apartment garage all winter, let's try to clean this up a little bit.
We keep running faster and faster. I don't know where we're after, yeah.
All I'm doing is basically just going over the bike with a nice little microfiber and a little tiny detailing spray. Call it OCD, call it what you will, but I like my bikes at least looking somewhat like they've been taken care of. I like riding my bikes, but I also like making sure they're taken care of, and so it deserves a little bit of love. Obviously, she's not gonna be as fresh as if I took her to an actual like little bike wash and like gave her a full rundown, but since it's probably gonna rain again today, just looking at the clouds, I don't know if it's really worth going to a bike wash and washing it up and taking it out again. So all that being said, I think my riding is probably done for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the little vlog, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.